to my first presentation when I made up the appointment. So he was sitting right next to me on that presentation, and I ended up doing like 3 pages. Right after that, I was glad he was there next to me because he took over. That's how nervous I was. But the leaders that we have presenting today, phenomenal job. I give you both kudos, Jameson, Michelle. Yeah, these are live events. They're not recorded. We don't plan them ahead in regards to what's going to take place. When live events happen, we just pour into whatever we have to do to make things happen. So once again, congratulations, Jameson and Michelle. Well, ladies and gentlemen, now we're going to move on to the training. The training is everything because the training allows us to comprehend the potential of our earnings and the kind of things that we need to understand where we have to, if we're making an income that we're not satisfied with, the goal is to be able to stretch your vision so you can increase the comprehension of how much more money you can make. And that's the objective of today's training. So I want you to, and it's being recorded, by the way, so we're going to hand out these videos. I cut the three events that we have had. Reading Club, one video. Second is the business conversation we've had. And now the training. Okay, so we're going to train on the compensation plan. And I'm going to give you a great understanding of where you are now and what you need to do to be able to build your compensation plan to your desire. That's the good thing about what we have. We got plenty of room for growth in regards to helping you accomplish your goals and dreams. If Jameson or anyone in the chat can allow me to, can let me know if you see the PowerPoint.
Yes, we can.
Thank you so much, Michelle. All right, let's fasten our seatbelts and let's get to understand the revenue sharing plan. What I want you to do is I want you to create the state of mind frame of 5-year game plan. Everything starts from scratch, and you're gonna see as I present every page of the training today. I want you to pay attention why I created the way I created it, and just kind of complemented what the company has done for us in regards to the compensation plan sharing. I want you to understand, Jameson, your hands up. Hey, Jameson. I guess you rose your hand by accident. I want you to understand one thing, and I want you to tell me where you are now. If you want to, you can share it in the chat, where you are now, and what is it that you see out of MWR, okay? If we look to the left, when I started in the business world, I was in the left, two left sides of the way how we generate income. 100% of times 1 equals income. Your job, your times job equals income. So that means you're trading time for dollars, okay? And it's a very limited way to generate income because you rely 100% on your own personal efforts. And we call that no leverage. That means if you stop working tomorrow and you have a job, your income is guaranteed to stop. And a lot of us think we have a secure paid job until when? So when we start there, we start where everyone else is. Most people they have jobs. So what we try to do sometimes is we try to get out of what we call, from Robert Kiyosaki, I learned this word, is the rat race. We want to get out of the rat race, so we look for different avenues to generate income, and we may want to go, experiencing the opportunity to work for ourselves. It's exactly what I did when I was a plumber. I had my full-time job, but then in my full-time job, I created income streams where I was hired to do independent jobs on weekends. I would generate extra income. So I tried being my own boss, but still fully relying on my own personal effort, trading time for money. So most people are in the left side. And that's something that I'm not just saying. I've studied it. I see it. That's 95% of the population on the left side of the quadrant from Robert Kiyosaki, the cash flow quadrant. If you see the book on the right side, we're going to start reading this book the minute that we finish with John C. Maxwell's book, Developing the Leaders Around You. So 95% of the population are on the left side, generating 5% of the entire money in the world. If we move to the right side, which is what MWR offers, it offers you an opportunity where 1% times 100 equals income. What does that mean? You times people, not you times you. You times people equals income. You own a system. People work with you. Systems work with you. The word system stands for save yourself time, energy, and money. So whether you work or not, you're still going to generate income. And that's what I love about what we have with MWR. So I would rather earn 1% of 100 people's efforts rather than 100% of my own efforts. And this phrase is by J. Paul Getty. Memorize these things, because it gives you the understanding of what it takes to create leverage. So when you own a business with a system, you got more ways now to generate great income. What you can do now is once you have a system running, you want to start having money work for you as well. Besides a business, now it's time to invest dollars. And let's see where we can put this number. Because if we don't invest our dollars, what happens? Inflation is going to continue to rise. We might continue to generate more income. But if we only rely on a business without having money working for us, we're still a little bit limited, no matter how great money you're making. If inflation continues to go up, dollars continue to depreciate in value. So now you want to be able to build an investment portfolio that can allow you to have complete passive income. So on the right side, 4% of the population own businesses. 1% of the populations are investors. So a total of 5% of the population work with 95% of the money. Why? Because they have businesses and they have investments that produce incredible income for them. Okay. So MWR gives us these two components on the right side. That's what I love about what we have. Because in order for you to be an investor, a lot of times you got to have a lot of money to invest. MWR accommodates your budget. It gets you out of the left side with all the components that we have of the quadrant to position you on the right side. And that's in 31 years, something that I've never seen before. With the compensation plans that I've made before, made a lot of money, but we never had the opportunity to be able to work alongside licensed experts that can allow us to be able to invest our money. Okay. So let me ask you a question. Let me go back before I go here. Where are you in this quadrant? And like I said, you can participate by responding in the chat, and it's okay. We're not here to criticize you. We are here just to open your eyes, to let you know that MWR is a tool that can allow you to move from the left side to the right side. I was in the left side, and I was there not for too long because I was working too many hours for too little money. I am glad that I got introduced to the industry of network marketing, which positioned me on the right side, which is the upper right side. But now with MWR, we have the upper right side of the quadrant connected with investments, which is what MWR offers. Okay. All right. So let's continue. Let's change our mindset. It is important that you understand where you are now and why is it that you need to transform yourself from maybe, I don't know if it's you're on the left side, you probably have a job, or maybe you are self-employed. Okay, so if you want to transition from the left side to the right side, let's change our mindset. Where are you now, or where you are now to where you should be? That's why I'm telling you, project yourself 5 years down the road and make sure that you work diligently, consistently, and transforming yourself from where you are now to where you see yourself with MWR. Because the more the compensation plan gives you is because you're becoming aware of what you need to do to be able to position yourself to higher positions. Employees versus entrepreneurs. And now you're going to start to see the difference of how an employee thinks and how an entrepreneur thinks. If you look at an employee follows rules, right? We got to follow the rules because if we don't follow the rules, we get fired or we get, our job gets taken away. An entrepreneur makes their own rules. Right here, we're giving you a system. You make your own rules. Okay. Nobody's limiting you from growing as fast as you want to. You can grow as fast as you want to anytime, any day you decide to do so. Employees are risk averse. They don't like to take any risk. I didn't like to take any risk before. Why? Because we're too limited with many resources, especially money. So we want to be able to be conservative, right, when we have a job. But in the business world, we encourage you that you take risk. You got to take lots of risk, okay? And when you take lots of risk, you're going to make a lot of mistakes. And it's okay to make mistakes. If someone tells you not to make mistakes, that's wrong mentorship, wrong coaching. What did we learn today with Jameson and Michelle? They took risk. Were they comfortable? I can guarantee you, I've been in their shoes. They were probably not comfortable, but they are taking risk. They're confronting fears and they're doing it with courage. Okay. Now, an employee thinks spending is a cost. A business owner or an entrepreneur thinks spending is an investment. Employees think short term. We have a short term expansion when we're employees, right? And that's funny that it seems that way. But I don't think it's short-term expectations, because an employee will work for 40 years to 50 years of their lives. So that's not a short-term expectation. They expect to work 40 to 50 years to retire from the system. Long-term vision, our long-term vision is 5 years. That's one thing that really confuses me. An employee thinks short-term expectations, a business owner thinks long-term expectation, and in reality, 5 years is not a long time. An employee is pretty much, they're not thinking right because they want fast results, but they're working slow results to end up with nothing. So think about this, okay? Wait for instructions, an employee, think for themselves. An entrepreneur, give up easily, an employee, an entrepreneur, persist and determine. For how long? 3 to 5 years. So if you really see the price that you're going to pay for 3 to 5 years, it's a short-term proposition. An employee, it's a long-term proposition to end up with nothing. 40, 50 years of your life working a job. So there's no reason to quit. 3 to 5 year game plan is nothing compared to a 40-year game plan, 50-year game plan. Seek for external forces for strength and inspiration. An employee, an entrepreneur, look inwardly for inspiration and strength. That's why I love our reading clubs. I love to connect and mingle with you. You know why? Because when you talk, you touch me. Why? Because I think for myself and you're thinking for yourself, but your input makes sense to me that it inspires me. I don't need to be motivated. I just need to be reminded that I have other motivated people. With my motivation, we get excited about topics. Find comfort in stability, employee, entrepreneur, willing to push the envelope. You got to be willing to push the envelope. You got to speak up. You got to expose your ideas. You got to do whatever it takes to become who you want to become. Wait for the right time. The right time is always now. Now, if you look at the word now and we read it the other way around from end to beginning, you have already won. When you think about now and you're taking risks right now, you're winning. Yes, it might seem like a failure, but you're doing something to move forward. And I want to position you with the state of mind frame of looking at this scenario over here. We all start somewhere. How many of you are familiar with Apple or have an iPhone, right? Google, Amazon, Harley Davidson, Disney, Mattel. These are companies that started from a garage. If you look at the right picture, I'm pretty sure you recognize the CEO of Amazon. They all started with a dream, okay? And right now you're starting with a dream. The good thing about what we have is you're starting with a handful of people. Right now we are your handful of people, so you can dream big. But then eventually you got to give birth to a team. And in order for you to give birth to a team, you got to start dreaming like Apple did once, like Google did once, out of a garage, Amazon out of a garage, Harley out of a garage, Disney, Mattel, a big dream. A big dream allows you to systemize yourself. Once the system takes place and you start grabbing a handful of people that have a big dream like you, now the system begins to work for you. And what does the system do? It saves you time, energy, and money. That's what the word system stands for. So how is that going to save you time, energy, and money? By building a team with a compensation plan. How else? By building investments. So when you have an investment portfolio like our company provides with a team and an incredible compensation plan, guess what? Now you're starting to live a lifestyle where you can leave a legacy. Imagine Apple is leaving a legacy. Steve Jobs is gone. Apple's still here. Google will leave, the CEO will leave a legacy. I think the CEO is worth $145 billion. Amazon, $200 billion. CEO, hardly. I don't know the CEO hardly. Disney, Walt Disney, Mattel. So these are companies that are now legacies. Okay. And you know one thing that I've learned from Mattel? It exploded with the baby boomer generation, where a lot of kids were born, 80 million kids in 20 years. Mattel became a success because, young boys, young girls were playing with Mattel back in the day. They exploded with the market. So right now, we have incredible ways to see how we can explode markets, just like these companies have seen it with MWR. Now, let's move on with what CEOs do. CEOs from companies, and you are a CEO, I want you to put in the chat, I am, or just put CEO. Put your title. You are a CEO of your company. So I want you to put the letter CEO because that's who you are. I'm talking to you as a CEO of your own company. Okay. The mindset that you need to have is I need to build my business with a team and I need to build my business with customers, teams and customers. So what do you need to do first? Build the framework. And how do you build it? By creating a list. So when you create a list, you're gonna have conversations to interview people. Remember, you're the CEO of your company. You're looking for customers and you're looking for team partners. So how are you going to be able to build the framework? You got to have a conversation. You got to do what CEOs do. So how do you have a conversation? Talk about family, talk about occupation, talk about recreation, because that's how you find people's motivation. Okay. So once you're able to talk about family, occupation, recreation, you're going to find many, many, many things to talk about with them. You're going to find out if they're happy with the kind of times with the amount of time they're investing with family. And I guarantee you, most people are not happy because they're working too many hours. So they really want to put more family time, but they can't. So that gives you a clue. Occupation, they're too busy working too many hours for too little money, most people. Recreation, they want to travel, but they can't because they don't have maybe money or they're working too many hours. So these three important topics are important in a conversation to find their motivation. So once you do find a motivation, because they're going to tell you how they're doing in those three areas of their lives, you can always say, if there was a way, as the CEO of your own company, hey, if there was a way that I can show you how to spend more time with your family, how to generate more income so you can keep more of it and put it to work for you, and also allow you to travel because you're going to be financially well. Would you be willing to listen to information? Simple. Simple as that. If you do that on a periodic basis and you start to interview people every single day, you're going to start to line up your team and your framework for the compensation plan. Okay. So this is important right here. The mindset to build is always, you got to be spontaneous with conversations like this all the time. It's simple and basic. The good thing about what we do is that we don't have to be the expert license. All we got to do is just fill in the spots, get them all lined up with the platform, have them have success with the platform, and let them share their stories and let the experts do all the dirty work for us. All we do is share testimonies and stories. That's it. That's all we do. All right. So proceed with the peak interest video and move on for a follow-up. So what does MWR allow you to do? MWR gives you a business and also the opportunity to invest. So let's look at a dream business. MWR, number one, gives you a business that it pays for itself. It's willable, sellable, and transferable. So let me ask you a question. You build your business with MWR, and I'm not saying you're going to sell it. But if you were to sell your business, your ID number, which you can always do once you build an empire, how much would you like your ID number to be worth if you were to sell your company? We can go back to Amazon. We can go back to Google. We can go back to Mattel. How much do you think those companies could be sold for? Millions or billions of dollars. I want you to think about the compensation plan of MWR. It allows you to build it. So eventually, if you decide to sell it tomorrow, you can sell it. But I wouldn't do that. But that's how you got to visualize it. How much is my company worth? Be your own boss. MWR gives you that chance. Control your time and income. MWR gives you that chance. Work from anywhere. That's what I love about what we do. You obviously saw the garages of all those companies that started from nothing, right? They got to have huge offices, huge overheads. They got to have employees, insurance to protect them in case they get a lawsuit. Like Amazon is being sued right now by the FTC. You got to have all that. That's a lot of responsibility. You can work from anywhere with us. Reduce your taxes. Stay ahead of inflation. Accelerate debt elimination. Accelerate investments. Accelerate retirement. Get paid daily. Holidays, sick days, 365 days per year. Immediate income, residual income, and most importantly, leverage. Something you can walk away from and you can call it your money machine. Will work with you or without you, and that's what you want. I'd rather have my business work more without me and continue to generate income than me being involved. Don't you want that too? All right, so let's talk about the framework. So what does it take to build it? In order for you to break even, right, from the 249.97, there's a monthly investment of 149.97. So you being the CEO of your own company, that investment is for your services. So how do I get free services? Very simple. What do? I need to build my customers. So that's why I said earlier, customers and team partners. If you want your services for free, you're going to earn $50 per customer that you enroll. As you bring three, it's $150. Your services are free. As a CEO of your own company, that's the first thing you want to do. You want to stay away from paying your monthly membership by bringing three customers, and your profit is $150. Okay, now you have services for free. You're the CEO of your own company, and you pay nothing for your services. Your services, your membership is free. Now, within the membership, there's services, obviously, that we pay our experts, but your membership is free. All right. So let's talk about now generating a profit. So you made 150, and your membership is free. The second component is I need to build my team. Now I no longer pay for my membership. It's free. I gotta go build my team. So to build your team, you gotta ask the right kind of questions. We're gonna get questions answered by the end. So please make sure you make a note of it, and I promise you, by the time we finish our training, we'll answer all the questions. So I want you to think about this for a quick minute. Now that you got your customers, you have three partners that you want to be able to fill in those positions. As a CEO of your own company, you need to find those three partners right now. So in order for you to find those three partners, you got to obviously be talking to people every day. Hey, let me ask you a question. By the way, if there was a way that I can show you how to make more money, how to keep more of the money that you make, and how to have your money work for you, would you be willing to listen to some information? Quick interview. And if they say yes, great. I have a video I want you to watch, and you keep doing that. Don't worry about the responses. Whether they answer, whether they say they're interested or not, you keep doing it. So you fill in three positions as a CEO of your own company. Now you generate an additional $150 by enrollment, and now you're qualifying yourself for a $5 residual income. Now you are a profitable CEO. Whether you work or not, you're going to generate $5 per day. Now you have broken the code of building the foundation of your storytelling. Now you can share a story. When I came in 2022, May 27th, I built my list and I brought my 3 partners. The first ones that I brought was Ana Rodriguez, Elisa Cabello, and Dania Sanchez. 3 team partners. We brought them in, we filled the positions right away. Customers. I made my calls. I signed up my 3 customers in as little as, I guess I built my team quicker than my customers. But my team was set up with a solid foundation from the beginning because that was my first thing to do. It took me maybe, I would say, 3 months to find my first customer because I didn't know any better. I was not generating my residual income. I was losing money in my residual income, but I got all my bonuses. Until Dr. G.W. Parker told me, Fernando, you need to find a customer. You're already getting paid $20 a day. I said, I don't see it in my text. He goes, because you don't have a customer. Go get your customer. I got my customer and then some. Beyond that, because I didn't want to pay for my services, okay? So that's my story. What is your story going to be like? So now you have a business that is profitable, right? So now that you do that, what do we need to do? We need to build an empire. So to build an empire, I need to find out if my partners have the ambition that I have and that are driven. How am I going to find out? They're going to show up to presentations or conversations. They're going to show up to trainings, and they're going to learn how to train and how to present the information, and they're going to bring people. Important. That's all I'm looking for. You show up to everything and you commit for 5 years, show up to everything. Now get other people to show up with you. Now we can see if these candidates are willing to do it. And I don't want to say anything negative, but the first 3 partners that you bring on board might not be the ones. It's just the way it is. Maybe it's going to be the second set of 3 or the third set of 3. You never know. If you ask me, Fernando, how many sponsors do you have? I think I brought in maybe like 80. Active right now, I have about 19 active. Out of those 19 active, I have 4 team partners that have grown to 36 memberships and above in my organization and above, okay? So I had to go find the partners. And if the partners that I signed up first were not the ones, I need to go find more because I am the CEO of my own company. And I'm not going to give up. I'm going to give myself 5-year time frame to build it because that's how long it takes for companies to be built, 3 to 5 years. So now you can start positioning yourself in the compensation plan. The good thing about what we have in 31 years, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to give you 31 years of experience here, is that you don't have to wait for your team to grow. You can continue to bring directs. Right here, see, these are sponsors directly to you. Sometimes it might work like that, or maybe you're going to find people that work a little different and they're going to help you build. You see how the numbers change? You're not the only one. Right here, you're the only one producing. Right here, you got people helping you produce. And that's basically what the story is about. Give me a quick second. Sorry about that. So now this needs to be built all the way down to 33,000 active members in your team. You're not going to do it by yourself. It's leadership development. That's why the book that we're reading is talking about, today we read on developing generational leaders, right? Let me see here. No, sorry, reproducing generations of leaders. Organizations like this is about reproducing generations of leaders. Like Jameson. Jameson come from a team where Lou Brown is, Eric Wilner, Ana Rodriguez, right? But see, we're building with him generations of leaders. He says, I want to participate. I want to be a part of the game. I've been behind cameras for too long. Now it's time for me to start exposing myself. You see, it's called generations of leaders. So we're building the team and we're giving us ourselves 5 years to build it. Say, it takes us 2 more years. Even if it takes us 7 years, I don't care. But if it took us 7 years, worst case scenario, let's assume that being the case. How about Jameson, right? Because he's starting with commitment. In 7 years, he's right here somewhere in the compensation plan generating $5,000 per day in residual income because he was willing to pay the price. Ana Rodriguez, anybody, your team, okay? I don't want to leave any names out. You're here being trained. You're one of those leaders. Whether you are a part of our team or not, it doesn't matter. You're one of the leaders of the team partners that you're with. The important thing is to understand the framework of what it's going to take to build it. We want fast money, fast results, right? Remember, we read that earlier in our training. As an employee, oh my God, I want fast results. And then you don't make $5 a day, in a month time frame because you didn't build it right. Well, give yourself a second shot this following month. If it didn't work, the following month, until the formula works. You don't give up, okay? So that's basically how we build it. And I know if I can ask you in the chat, we got 16 participants in the chat. If I can ask you, what is your level of income that makes you feel that it allows you to fulfill your legacy building compensation plan? Put the number. Put the number in the chat. I challenge you to put the number in the chat. It's part of your dreaming big, positioning yourself to make this kind of figures. I remember my trainer always used to say, act as if in the previous company, you are already generating $20,000 a month. Always train us on that. And he drilled on that like never before. Act as if. Think about the compensation plan. Where do you see yourself? Start dreaming and dream big. Okay, 20K. Adrian, that's what I'm talking about. Cynthia, $1,500 per day. That's what I'm talking about. See, dream big. And if people are making fun of you, you're doing the right thing. You want people to make fun of you because the one who laughs the loudest is the last laugh. Okay, and that's what people don't know. That's what I'm talking about, James, on $100,000 daily to start with. $1,000 daily, I'm sorry. That's awesome. You see? Look at these numbers and visualize yourself and act as if. And if you do act as if when you're prospecting, people are going to think you are already making the figures. They don't know that you're not. They think that you are. And people sometimes they don't even ask you how much you're making. You're so confident because you are so immersed into your focus, they don't even ask you how much you're generating. Why? Because your confidence talks louder than anything else. And you got to work on that. You got to role play like you are already generating those figures. You are the CEO of your own company. I want you to think you're the CEO of Amazon. I want you to think you're the CEO of Disney. You are the CEO of your own business. Give yourself value. Be proud of yourself. Don't let anybody take that away from you. Okay? Now we have more compensation plan within the compensation plan that is being added. Our CEO likes to spoil us. Now we have, MWR fundable 360. We have this business funding. $50,000, you get somebody approved, you generate $400. Your first level team does the same thing. They earn $400 and you make $100 in addition to the compensation plan that we just talked about. Once you become a 3-star executive director with 36 memberships, you have unlocked the entire compensation plan of MWR. That's why you want to get here as fast as yesterday. You're the CEO of your own company. And I will repeat that 1,000 times today if I have to get it through your head. You're the CEO of your own company. So you decide how fast you want to grow. And now this compensation plan added, it's a blessing. I mean, we got so much, ladies and gentlemen, in store for us to be successful in our business. So this is the fast money. Build your structure to 36 memberships. Whether you generate the momentum bonus or not, if your momentum bonus has already expired, that was your investment to see the big picture. $1,500 of momentum bonus. It cost me $1,500 momentum bonus, you could say. but I guarantee you, I'm going to keep my residual income. And you got to you got to achieve 36 memberships in your team to be able to enjoy your $1,500 a month in residual income, plus the legacy bonus and the lifetime legacy bonus, plus what our business funding pays out. There's lots of money to be made. All right. So now, when you build your business and you got 12 excited people on your team, as a 2-star executive director, $600 a month, you got 12 people excited in your team within a week time frame, making your $600 a month in residual income. Your team produces 12 new enrollments within a week time frame. You generate an additional $300. But you got to have 12 memberships before you get there. That means you got to have 12 team partners with a combination of customers, members generating $20 per day to be able to enjoy this lifestyle bonus of $300 per week. All right. Now, you want to get here faster than fast. 3-star executive director. As a three-star executive director, you have unlocked the entire compensation plan of MWR. 36 memberships, a combination of clients and team partners. And you want to be immersed. You want to be thinking about this 24/7. How can I get to my 36 team partners and my customers? How can I help my team do the same thing? You got to talk about this all the time. You got to be always interviewing people. You're the CEO of your own company. If I can show you a way in how to make more money, how to keep more of the money that you make, and how to have your money work for you, would you be interested in learning more about it? All the time. And this is going to begin to shape up. You're going to start to attract people into your business and into your team. Okay. All right. Now let's talk about the legacy bonus compensation plan. We all make $50 anytime we enroll customers and directors. What separates us from the $50 is 36 memberships to earn an additional $30 on your enrollments. You want to earn more? You need to be a 4-star. Hold on. Let me take you back here. You need to be a 4-star. Okay, that's 100 memberships in your team. It is? It is. Yeah, it is. 100 memberships. Now you generate $40. And see these numbers growing right below 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, all the way up to 150. We all keep the 50. The company pays us more below by building teams. That's why we got to build the teams, because they pay us more to build teams. We get paid more to build teams. Every CEO of every company makes more money when teams are built and sells rights. So we all make the $50. I make $50 for enrollment. Jameson does the same thing too. So we all get compensated the same amount of money for bringing people. But what is going to differentiate this $50 is how quick can I build teams so I can make the money below, which is called the legacy bonus. Why? Because you're building leaders. I'll give you an example. By becoming a regional director, you make $60. Okay, plus your 50. So this $60, which is the legacy bonus, you develop a 3-star executive director, they unlock the money, they keep 30 of the 60 that you generate from every direct sponsor and teams that are not 3-star. It's a lot of money. But now you start to override the efforts of your 3-star executive directors, where they keep 30 and you keep 30 of their efforts, plus whatever you're bringing. That's amazing. All right, now let's assume this being the case, and you want this to be the case. You want to build a team that can bring 2 people per day, eventually 3 people per day, eventually 4, 5, 10 people per day. And based on that, if you are a 3-star executive director, you're going to make on 60 enrollments per month, $60, $1,800. So that means every day you're going to generate an additional $60 of your bonus times 30 days is $1,800 per month. Eventually, you want to get to 3, and then 4, and then 5, and then 10. Not by yourself. This is team building because you're the CEO and you're developing other CEOs that think the way you think and that feel the way you feel about the compensation plan. So in the business, there's 3 stages. Write this down. A lot of effort, very little money, or sometimes no money. A lot of effort. You have to be very strong in this level. Once you break the barrier of a lot of effort, little money or no money, you're going to get to level 2. A lot of effort and a lot of money. So this is preparing you for level 3. Very little effort and a fortune. So the hardest position to be in is a lot of effort, a little money, or no money. Nobody likes to be there. But a lot of people extend the pain of a lot of effort, little money, or no money. Don't extend the pain for too long. I would rather have you do a lot of effort and a lot of money because you're preparing yourself for a little effort, lots of money, and a fortune. And this is what we're talking about over here. If your business is falling daily more than it's growing, you still don't have leverage in your business. What do I mean by that? Say you have 100 memberships in your team, okay? And there's 30 days in a month. You gotta check your cash register of your MWR business every single day, morning, afternoon, and evening. And from the 100 memberships, 5 of those cancel, you only got 95 now. So if you don't have this movement right here to replace those 5 that cancel by having 10 come in that day, your business has no leverage yet. And that's a very hard position to be in. The goal is that you have a business that brings more than it cancels. And it's hard to build that. You know why? Because it's about leadership development. So if you're not leading by example, showing up to the trainings, committing to the cost of building a business, you're going to have a lot of attrition. It's not a fun place to be in. Okay. So this is why you have to always emerge in the compensation plan, and you have the power to change that. Because you're the CEO of your own company. So once you decide to build it and become a 5-star regional director, every time you enroll somebody, you make 150. But every time you help them enroll a team, you still make an override of $100 because they're still not 3-star executive directors. So you're keeping $100 for building them up all the way to 3-star executive director. You see how much power you have and how much leverage on your own personal efforts to build those teams. It's a 5-year game plan, and you're the CEO of your own company. We're almost done, okay? I already talked about this. Sorry about that. I got to remove that. Now, let's talk about OPM, other people's money. We're going to be done in about 9 minutes. So other people's money. Now that we have access to 360 fundable, we have access to money that we can leverage from. So $50,000 is the potential of your qualification on your business funding. And when this takes place, you have now, going back to the cash flow quadrant, which is what we saw earlier, to be an investor, now you're going to be able to invest that money. They're still working on this project over here, our CEO and our company. So now you're going to have access to an additional $1,500 a month of precious metal income. Take away $500 to pay the loan back to have the potential to earn an additional $1,000. Now you have your business that is paying you money, and then eventually now an investment. So once you have a business that is paying you money and then an investment, you can diversify your investment. It doesn't necessarily only have to be precious metals. We have diversified cash flow. We have land banking. I'm going to take you here and I'll come back over here real quick. Let me go back. Yeah, right here. So now you can diversify your assets. This is what I love about what we have. To me, this is the cash flow quadrant book right here. That's why we're going to read that book next in our reading club. So when you have this, that you can actually make money from, besides your network, remember, the bigger your network, the bigger your net worth. because now you have a big network that can allow you to have big net worth from the team and from the investments. So we have that all available. So say if it takes you 5 years, let me take you back over here, to build your precious metals, okay, all the way up to $543,000 total, because you're going to be borrowing money every year, 50,000, another 50, another 50, another 50, another 50. So this is your loan to pay back, not from your pocket. It's going to be from the precious metal. You're still going to keep $10,000 of residual income within a 5-year time frame. Who would be excited with a retirement plan of an asset of $10,000 a month? Month after month after month, whether you work or not. And on top of that, your MWR compensation plan. And on top of that, if you want to diversify your income, use some of the other investments. How about land banking? Diversify cash flow, private reserve accounts, and then trust my assets so you can minimize your tax payout. Maybe you end up paying 5% of taxes instead of paying 25, 30, 35% of taxes. 5% by having trust my assets. And how do we do that? Own nothing and control everything. And guess what? Legally, you can do that. Own nothing and you can control everything and you can pay little taxes. That's why when people complain that the richest people pay the less taxes, they complain about people, hey, this person made billions of dollars and look the little taxes they pay. They're smart. They own nothing and control everything. That's what we're talking about here, okay? So I'm selling you into a dream, ladies and gentlemen, because you're the CEO of your own company. So you have access to do that. All right, so we're going to wrap up over here. And this is basically a pledge. Our promise to you, and MWR promises to you too, okay? Our promise to you is, and now we're going to be your trainers, your leaders, right? So you are the leader and the CEO of your own company. This is what you got to promise the people that you're going to work with. Listen, I promise to create an atmosphere for you to win. I promise to never take credit for your success. I promise to never take credit for your failures either. So don't blame me for your failures, because I promise I won't take credit for that. I promise that regardless of our friendship, I will always go by the book. That way, neither of us gets into trouble or gets the company into trouble. MWR promises too. MWR promises to be a company you can be proud of, to be there to help you succeed, to treat you with respect and integrity, to provide you with the chance to become financially independent, and finally, give you the chance to take charge of your life once and for all. That's what MWR promises to us, okay? So this is your pledge for your team partners, and that's what MWR gives us, and this is what we give to our team partners. Nobody's going to take the blame for anything. We got to all take responsibility. We just got to make sure that we're providing the right environment for you to win. All right? So on that note, I'm going to stop sharing the screen. Let's see here. There we are. All right. So I see that we have Adrienne with her hand up. She waited till the end. Hi, Adrienne. You
Yes, the
can
question,
unmute your.
I really didn't have a question. I missed a slide, and I don't think that's a major thing, but it was before, I believe, the one which I try to screenshot every as we go through the lesson. And I record because it's hard, note taking you can't always do effectively, especially if you want to get word for word, which is what I want to do. And I believe it was, I can't now recall where I was at the time, but I believe it was the one with the 3 team people under you. And I believe it was the rank advancement. And I believe that was a direct sponsors with people helping you produce leadership development is needed, and reproducing generation of leaders is the book you're reading. So I think it was between that one and the one on above below framework. So it's no big
Okay.
deal. But at this rate, that's what I was trying to do. Sometimes you go,
Oh,
I'm screenshotting, but before I can finish one, you're in another one. That's why I said that. But no big
okay,
deal.
Adrian.
Thanks.
Well,
And by
listen,
the, yes, I apologize.
I'll put the recording. It's being recorded in YouTube, so I'll put it in Telegram so you can grab it from there and go back to it.
Perfecto. And I
Excellent.
have to jump off because I have to get on another Zoom. But I would like to reach. You can I can reach out this week if possible. You just tell me when.
You
Muchas
got my number
gracias.
now. No
Muchas
problem, Adrian.
gracias. Thank you.
You
Enjoy
bet.
the rest of the day, guys. And is no more. Is there more training going on after this, or just
No, no, no.
questions?
No, we're pretty much done. We're just wrapping up and answering some questions.
All right.
Take
Thank you
care.
kindly.
Enjoy your
Bye bye.
enjoy your next Zoom. Bye,
Thanks.
Adrian.
Bye bye for now.
You bet. Bye. 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 Jameson.
Fernando, amazing. I'm glad it was recorded. That was my little hand up. I was like, whoa, wait, is this recorded? Because I want to make sure I'd be able to go back over it and also share this with my team members that I'm bringing with me, right? I do have a question.
Exactly.
Back
Yeah.
on the metals program, and maybe it's something somebody can answer this, or maybe I just have to call them up and ask them. Back on that one with the way that it progresses. Each year, are you paying off that $50,000 loan? Because there's a profit. So that means that you're getting metal, you're making a loan, and then you have a profit, and then you have at the end of the first year, you have like $12,000. Is that
Yep.
with the $50,000 paid off? And then at
Well,
the
here,
very top, you have that
go ahead,
graphic.
Jameson. Sorry. Mhm.
Yeah. I'm looking at that going, wait a minute. I'm not carrying a loan through 5 years. I'm actually paying it off each year, correct?
Well, here's how it works. Remember, in order for you to get to the this amount right here at the end,
Right.
every year, obviously, your first year payback is $500 from precious metals,
Right.
where it
A
gives you a
profit.
$1,000 rate of return profit after paying the loan back monthly. So
Right.
this is a monthly payment on the 50,000. The second year, and then the precious metal right here,
Right.
the total year end is $62,000 in precious metals.
Right
So
there.
what you're
Wait.
gonna do the following year is you're gonna borrow another $50,000.
So they have a
So
hundred
that
thousand
turns
dollar loan right now. Is that what
yes,
you're saying?
exactly. Yep. It's a $100,000 loan, but you're immediately going to invest that other 50,000 in precious metals. So now instead of paying $500 in the loan, you're paying $1,000, but your precious metal is giving you a profit of $2,360 after paying the loan.
So at year five, I would have a $500,000 loan still. Is that what
Yeah,
you're
you're
saying?
paying it back. Your precious metal is paying it back, but now you have a
Right.
profit of 10,146 after you pay the loan back.
Yeah, I guess my mind just has to see the math a different way because I'm trying to understand, am I still carrying a loan or is that
Two
loan
two
paid
hundred fifty
off?
thousand.
Yeah,
It's
okay.
250,000 you're paying back. But
Right. So
remember,
that's what that so I'm still paying that $2,500 on that $250,000 loan every year, every month, excuse me, every month.
yeah, until it's paid in full.
Okay.
Now, if you decide that you want to pay quicker, then maybe I think it's possible to take a little bit more from precious metals and pay it faster.
Right.
And still think about it.
I think what they're trying to do is they're trying to ramp you up to holding a $543,000 in precious metals with a $250,000 loan. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And
And by
it's
the time you're here, Jameson, you're gonna have already paid back a lot of the first few years over here.
right, right. I was just trying to fathom that little thing in my head because I see it, but I kind of get inspired and kind of confused simultaneously.
This is the way I see it. It's like, your MWR business has a 149.97 monthly investment on the membership, right?
Hmm.
And if you look at it, if you want to have that waived, bring three customers and you don't pay it anymore. So I think precious metal is kind of like the same scenario. You want to have your asset surpass your loans. That's why it's called leveraging on other people's money, which is in this instance the bank. Yeah, you want to owe the bank, but you don't want to pay it out of your pocket. You want your rate of return of your gains, pay it back instead of you having to pay it out of pocket.
That's amazing, and that's and having the business funding and everything to like the CEO Brian House is trying to set us up to be able to have those assets. And that's like with real estate, you get a mortgage and you get the asset. So this is a version of that same scenario, except for it's with precious metals instead of with a real estate. So you're still
That's
getting
right.
you're creating that debt to be good debt and to be to asset producing or value generating debt instead of taking away from you. So even though there's debt, it's serviceable through the profits of the metals. Thank you.
That's right. You got it. You got it, my friend. OPM to generate incomes, like Robert Kiyosaki is what he teaches, other people's money. And that's why he pays very little taxes. And I think he's worth right now $100 million. And he says, I don't pay taxes. I just borrow money and let my investment surpass what I owe the banks.
I like what he says. He bought a house to get a car. So what it means by that is you buy the asset, you get the income producing asset, then that actually pays for the car monthly note, and so then you get a house and a car.
That's right.
You get both, not
For
either or, but you get both.
That's right. Plus, what we have with our MWR compensation plan, I think Robert Kiyosaki would be excited, but he's so wealthy. He's like, ah. But he said, if I were to build something from scratch and start over again, it would be network marketing. Michelle, I think you were raising your hand before we leave. Did I see you raising your hand, or maybe it was something that I thought I saw? Anyone else before we leave? All right. We're going to let you get back to your doings, to your family. Make sure you keep your CEO hat on, right? So whenever you have somebody in front of you or on social media, always talk about family, occupation, recreation to find their motives. And then, by the way, if there was a way that I could show you how to make more money, how to keep more of the money that you make, and how to have your money work for you, would you be interested in knowing more about it? That's all you do all day long, all day long. It's not hard. And then plant the video, which is planting your seeds with everyone that you talk to, and then do your follow-ups to find out what they like most. And do that every single day for the next 5 years so you can enjoy a lifestyle to leave a legacy for you and your family. All right. Take care, everyone. Happy Saturday. We'll see you at the top.